What's up, my dudes? MX Simulator is dying. This is the most worried about the state of MX Simulator that I ever have been since I started playing the game. Literally since all the way back in the end of 2014 when I started playing the game. This is the most worried about the game and the longevity of the game and how long it's going to last and all that kind of stuff. It's the most worried I've ever been for the entire game. So some of you guys have probably been wondering why I haven't been making a whole lot of MX Simulator content. Spencer, are you even still playing the game? You know, I'm obviously not pro racing. Like, what's going on here, Spencer? What are you doing? Let me just say, first of all, I'm never going to stop playing MX Simulator, like just totally quit playing the game and just move on and never play it again. That's never, ever going to happen. The gameplay is just too good. I'm always going to make tracks on MX Simulator. I love the custom track building on it. I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to go in there and have fun playing in single player, you know, occasionally getting on there on my online server and racing with some buddies or having some fun races or whatever. But as far as like legitimately, you know, playing the game every single night, trying to pro race, doing that whole thing, dog, oh man, I don't know if I'm ever really going to do that. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to change in the game to make me want to go back to doing that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. And the saddest part about it is the fact that it's not even the gameplay, okay? It's nothing wrong with the gameplay. The gameplay is great. The actual feeling on the bike, physics on the bike, gameplay of MX Simulator is unmatched. It's unbeatable. It's amazing. It's just as good as it's always ever been. It's still amazing, okay? There's nothing wrong with the gameplay of the game. It's everything else around the gameplay. That's what's dragging down MX Simulator. It's the unprofessionalism in the pro racing. It's the cheating, hacking, scamming, key sharing, a road, terrain deformation that wasn't even made for the game, basic ass tracks made around a road in the game that have no character to them at all. See, it's all these other little things, right? It's not the gameplay. I want to make that really clear. I'm telling you, it is not the gameplay. One of the biggest things about it, one of the biggest things that's holding me back from wanting to really play the game hardcore like I used to and really get into it and do all that and pro race and all that kind of stuff, one of the biggest things that's stopping me from doing that and making me just like, what's the point, is the fact that MX Simulator is starting to become a cheater's paradise. If they can hack Warzone and do all that bullshit in Warzone, I promise you they can do it in MX Simulator, a game from 2007 made by one guy with basically no anti-cheat in the game whatsoever. And even if you do get caught, key sharing, having somebody else ride for you, they'll just let you back in a year later. You just get a 1-year ban and they just let you right back in. So this is one of those things. It's getting to the point now where they're catching somebody every single week in the pro racing doing something like that, doing some sort of key share, hack, scam, fraud. This guy doing this, fixing races. This dude rode for this guy. Oh my God, this guy. You know, it's just constant now. It's literally every single week. Oh, this dude in the top 5, you know, Colton Mitchell, wow, he got caught key sharing. Oh, wow, Rush Chapman was involved. What do you know? It's just a constant. RF, are you starting to realize now why you have to actually fully permaban people the first time they get caught key sharing? Are we starting to understand that now? Oh, damn. Was Spencer out again? This shit's crazy, dog. I promise you, if somebody will go to the extent to actually key share, have somebody else ride for them or ride for somebody else in a paid pro series with money prizes on the line, I promise you, they would go to the extent to run a hack in that same pro racing series. I promise you they would. Like, really? You're just going to sit down here and tell me that, no, they're not going to cheat to that extent. They wouldn't cheat to the extent of actually running a hack, but they would cheat to the extent of riding for somebody else in a race or having somebody else ride for them multiple times in pro races. But nah, they wouldn't do anything else shady in the game. Nah. It just cracks me up, bro. Just cracks me up how much people like Rush Chapman has gotten away with this bullshit for so long. And all these people that are currently getting away with it in the pro racing right now as we speak, right under RF's noses, and they have no idea that they're doing it. It is just all over the place in the game now. It really is. So that's just one of those things. It's like, why would I even pay to race in a series where this shit is still happening? Why would anybody do that? It don't even make sense. If you're not going to be strict enough on people that do this bullshit, why would anybody race in it? And if the game was known for that in the community, if it was known for you're going to get fully permabanned if you get caught key sharing, I promise you, nowhere near as many people would try to key share in the game. I promise you they wouldn't. Because there would actually be a consequence, a fear. But currently, you just get banned for a year. So who gives a shit? Might as well go key share. If you're stupid enough to get caught doing it, you only get banned for a year. You see the problem, RF? Why do I have to do your job for you? This shit is insane, bro. Why? I told you all this way ahead of time. Way ahead of time. And you just wouldn't listen. Are you ever going to learn to listen? How many times do I have to do something, say something, and it get proven to be right, and you still don't listen to me? How many times? How many times? Say all the shit about a road. Then the developer himself comes out and says all the shit I've been saying for years. You still don't want to listen to me. Say all this shit about Rush Chapman, all these key shares, all this shit years in advance. Oh, wow. Now Rush has been caught key sharing fucking 30 times. You still don't want to listen to me. It's like, good God Almighty, RF. It's getting to that point where it doesn't even mean anything to win anymore. Gone are the days of when everything was super professional before RF shut down and then came back. It's really just a skeleton of what RF used to be. But back in the day, it just had a completely different level of professionalism. It was literally like AMA Supercross in a virtual world. And it's not like that at all now. It's literally not even close to that. And back in those days, the days of the Fresquezes and the Roots and all those kind of guys, you actually gained like a pure fame and status, and it was a big deal, and it was like you became known in the game. Nowadays, it's just like, who gives a shit? Every other week, some dude in the top 5's getting caught key sharing or doing some shady shit. So it's just like, even when you say, oh, this guy got this lap time, oh, this dude won this RF race, none of it even matters anymore. That's the reason why I'm not playing the game right now, hardcore. Because it's just lost it's lost all integrity. It's lost all meaning to what it means to actually win an RF Pro race or do good in an RF Pro race. You see what I'm saying? All of that is just starting to not even matter anymore because the cheating in the game is taking over the entire game. And that's the thing with MX Simulator. It's created such an ecosystem of there is so much clout and fame and all this stuff you get with winning in RF racing, doing good on MX Simulator, that it creates such a reason for you to want to achieve that, right? People will go to extreme lengths to achieve an RF main event win or whatever, an amateur win, amateur race win, or a championship. They will go to extreme lengths because of how much it means to do it in the game and how hard it is to actually do it legit in the game. Most people don't even care how they get it. They don't care if they cheated their way to the top. They don't care if they key shared, hacked, done whatever. They don't care. As long as they get it, they're going to get all that clout, they're going to get all that love from their buddies, and people are going to think they're so amazing at the game, and that's all they're really after, right? That just goes to show you how fucked MX Simulator's community really is. It's starting to get to that point where more people care about how they can hack, cheat, scam, how they can get away with key sharing and riding for other people in the game than they do actually trying to race legit and trying to, I don't know, maybe not cheat in a game that people are paying to pro race in. I don't know, because that's, fraud. I don't know. Crazy me. Crazy Spencer Turley, Holy shit. That's just so crazy, bro. That's what they're doing. So I've seen a lot of you guys go down this road of, well, it's just a game, Spencer. What are you so worried about? What's the big deal, right? Oh, whoever got caught key sharing, what's the big? It's just a game, dude. Yeah, it's just a game that I'm paying to pro race in, and then some idiot comes out here and is key sharing, having somebody else ride for him, or hacking, or whatever, scamming the system, cheating the system. It's all cheating. That's all that is. That's called fraud. They're literally stealing from you. That's what they're doing, because if they get a better finish than you and you're racing legit and they're not, they're running some sort of hack or key sharing or cheating in some kind of a way, they are stealing from you. That's why it becomes such a bigger deal. Fuck all the actual, the status and the fame and this and that you're just completely, falsely attaining. Fuck all that. You're literally taking money, what would potentially be prize money for these certain people that are racing legit. You're literally taking that from them. And once you get to that point where you have so much of this crap going on in the game, so many people getting caught key sharing in the pro racing, so many people getting caught doing all of this kind of crap. And then on top of that, you have RF doing stupid shit like participating in their own events. Literally, the track makers themselves are participating in the events. So they go in there and build the entire track, race on it for 4 or 5 days, and then go in there and race with everybody else that's only gotten an hour on the track before the race. Why? In what world do you think that's okay? Why? That is not, it's not even close to being professional or, fair or anything like, why would you even think that's okay? Why would you even do that? And then on top of that, when they have pro races that are the Triple Crown Supercross races in the game, where they only take 16 people directly to begin with, and then you've got the 2 or 3 track makers in there that's had the track for 3 days, and they go in there and they run their fast lap in 2 laps, right? And then everybody else only gets an hour to qualify on it before the race, right? You got all the RF track makers participating in their own events. Then you got all the RF officials, all of the big head honcho overseers also participating in the races. They're getting the tracks early too. They're the fucking leaders of RF. Right? This is not just the track makers get the track. No, it's everybody in RF gets the tracks early, okay? So you have your track makers participating. You have your main RF officials participating. Then you have your people that are actually dictating the protest and who gets suspended also participating, because you'd never have any weird little issues or unfair situations where someone runs into. Think about how stupid this is. So you're going to tell me that the dude that's actually dictating the protest in the suspensions is going to, suspend himself for doing something on the track? What? He's going to, give himself a 2-week suspension for a bad on-track re-entry? What the? You just create so many potential unprofessional, biased, shady, under-the-table situations when you participate in your own events. That's like gambling at your own casino. Conflict of interest. You just don't do that kind of shit. That's what I'm saying. RF, it's like they just don't even care anymore, guys. It's like they don't even care anymore. They just think, well, we're the RF officials. We're the dudes in RF. We can do whatever the hell we want. It don't matter how unprofessional or professional it is. It don't even matter. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want. It's like some corrupt, police force or something. It's just so... And then you got all the people that aren't actually the RF officials or track makers or the dudes dictating the protest, but then it's the people that are buddy-buddy with those RF officials, right? Or they're really good friends with those RF officials, or they're on the same team as those RF officials. Oh, now we have an interesting little situation where it's, wow, nah, we just got to trust those RF officials. They wouldn't do anything shady. Those guys that are participating in their own events, those guys, yeah, they wouldn't, give their buddy over here the track early, or give this dude over here that's on their team, their literal team, okay, they wouldn't give him the track early. Nah, RF wouldn't do anything shady like that, They wouldn't do anything shady like participating in their own events or anything, They wouldn't do anything like that. No, man. So, just tell me, any other paid professional esports series in any other game where the actual officials participate in the event? Just name one. I'll wait. Oh, damn, that's right. Nobody else does this shit, RF. Only you. Only you. You've got this weird, twisted mindset where you just think you're gods of the entire game. You think you can just do anything. Oh, well, who gives a shit if I've literally been sitting here riding on this new track for 3 days, and then I'm going to go in there and literally race right beside everybody else that's only had 45 minutes on the track before the race. I mean, the mindset you got to have to even do that is mind-baffling to me. It's like, if you're to that level where you will do that, what else would you do? You see what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, come on now. You got to be better than that, RF. So, at the end of the day, the only way you're ever going to fix MX Simulator or bring it back to life, quote unquote, or whatever, however you want to say it, right? The only way you're ever going to do that is if JLV comes out with some sort of actual real anti-cheat in the game, or really starts cracking down and figuring out some way to, find out everybody that's running these different kind of hacks in the game and really cracking down and banning all those people. And he's got to put some sort of, UID IP address locking system in some kind of a way to where you can't just give your UID to literally anybody across the country on a different computer and they can just key share and ride for you and look like they're you in a split second. Takes 2 seconds to key share in the game. There's just nothing preventing this shady shit. That's the problem. There's nothing preventing it. There's no anti-cheat. Key sharing, a literal 2-year-old could key share and get away with it on MX Simulator. I'm not over-exaggerating that, right? And then you don't even get a perma-ban if you do actually get caught key sharing in the pro racing. RF won't even actually perma-ban you. So until all that changes, and until RF wants to actually listen to the developer of the game, the sole developer that actually made the game, that says a road development is nightmarish and the demands are almost impossible, he would rather work on something he can actually make progress on. All he's going to do is optimize what's there now. A road development is literally over. The developer himself said it, but yet RF is still living in this fairy tale land like, ooh, let's try this with the road. We're going to come over and see if we can do this with the road. Let's try to do this with the road in the game. Let's see if we can make a road work like this. They're still doing it. There's still a road beta testing in the pro racing. They've been doing it for 2.5 years now, and they're still doing it. Don't matter what the developer says, they're still doing it. And I'm just giving you guys some of the examples of the bullshit that's been going on for the past 3 years in the game. I haven't even went down the road of all of the absolute disaster races that they've had where they had to totally reschedule a race. Something was wrong with the road or some little new bug or so much lag you couldn't even ride on the track. Or we get in there and run qualifying and then, we get all the way through the qualifying session. Whoop, the laps didn't count. Oh, shit. Well, guess we got to run qualifying again. I swear to God, that's happened at least 20 to 30 times over the past 3 years of me racing in the game. And I've not even raced half of the races. And that's still happened that many times. Like, oh my God, the amount of disaster races they've had in the past 3 years is unreal. It's astronomical. And it just wasn't like that, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, pre-2018, pre-all this road bullshit, they overcomplicated everything, right? It has literally felt like a road beta test in the pro racing for the past 2.5, 3 years. That's all it's felt like in the game. It's like RF's just testing out a road, no matter how much lag we're getting, no matter how much they're fucking up the track, no matter how much, making the tracks terrible for single player or terrible for ever going back and riding on them in the future. None of that shit matters. Literally nothing else matters other than RF gets to test their little precious road system. That's all that matters in the game now. I swear to God. The developer himself can come out and say all this shit about a road. It still doesn't matter. It's just all about RF, right? It's all about what these little RF officials want to do. It just cracks me up, dude. So that's the thing with MX Simulator. It's not just one thing, right? It's literally like MX Simulator is killing itself from the inside. It's like it's imploding from 5 different directions, right? And I just don't know how they're ever going to save it. I really don't. Just keep doing what you're doing, RF. It ain't like the game is growing. It ain't like, now because you're doing a road, man, we have, 200 people signing up in every class. Oh, yeah, we just really needed this road system, and it's just working so well in the game right now. We're not having any issues. RF's just being so professional. They're just so great at what they're doing. The game's just growing. Look at all these people pro racing. Look at all these people getting into the game and how much people are excited about the. It's not like that at all. You're literally losing people. You're going backwards. Look at the numbers. But no, RF doesn't want to look at actual factual information like their numbers. They can barely fill up the gates. The worst Anaheim 1 450 class signups they have ever had before. The developer himself coming out there and saying all the stuff that I'm saying. They don't want to look at the facts. No, RF lives in this little bubble of we can do no wrong. We control the entire game. Whatever we say goes. We just know what we're doing because we're the RF officials. It's just like, bro. Oh, man. And some of you boys that are just getting into the pro racing scene of the game, if you haven't noticed all this shit yet, just give it some time. Give it some time. You'll start to realize what I'm saying. Just give it a little time, man. And the saddest part about it is everything that RF does in the game directly affects the entire game, right? So if RF is in there making shitty-ass tracks with basically no pre-made, no character, built around a road, then now you're going to get all these other people that start trying to make custom tracks like that, right? So now we're getting all these built around a road custom tracks that suck ass. It took people about 1/5 the amount of time to make the track as it would a normal, ruddy, JGMX-style, decent track design. Nope. Takes them like 1 second to make the track because they didn't even build the track. They didn't even build the ruts or the berms or anything. We'll just rely on a road to do everything. So then that kills all the custom track content. Now nobody wants to go in there and just ride on a random online server with these new RF tracks because there's no pre-made. And who the hell knows what a road setting they have it on. That system that the developer himself said wasn't even made for the game and he's done developing, that system. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Damn. Right? So it's just like the whole random online racing scene is nowhere near what it was. You used to have full gates in the old stock tracks. You had full gates in '03, which was like the 2011 to 2013 Supercross tracks. Then you had full gates in the other official server that was like the 14 to 17 Supercross tracks. It was just, the game was so much more populated then than it is now. You can't even hardly find a server that's got a full gate now. You just can't. You just can't. It's really sad, man. MX Simulator, because of what RF is doing right now, and not being hard on the key sharing and fully permabanning people to get caught doing that, right? It's just creating this feeling of like you're playing some sort of joke game. It's making the whole game feel like that now, right? So what RF is doing right now is directly impacting the entire game. So that's really what's bringing it down. RF, it just cracks me up. You get mad and so defensive at me, Spencer Turley, the guy that has never key shared, hacked, scammed, done any of that kind of bullshit in your pro racing ever. Never, ever, ever. Not even in the slightest way. I've never protested anybody for any reason, ever. I've just manned up. Realized racing incidents happen. And even if it wasn't just a racing incident, even if it was some jackass lapper taking me out, I accepted my fate in the race. I didn't have to go in there and do all these 10 million different protests and, create such an issue for you. I don't do any of that. I criticize you because I'm trying to uphold you to your own standards that you have for yourself. Why can you not understand that? You get this shit so twisted around. And then you come over here and you let people like Rush Chapman back in multiple times. You give him chances after chances after chances. He's going in there and making a joke out of your professional racing series and situation. All of you RF officials that wanted to let Rush back in, even after he got caught doing all this bullshit again in 2020, after the 1-year ban for getting caught key sharing, I know who you are. All you boys that wanted to let him back in again. Now we've come to find out he's now still involved in the key sharing and all the bullshit, and he's totally banned, still involved, all the way into the outdoors. And this is the kind of people you want to try to let back in. Like, where? Holy crap. Holy crap. There's no more words for this shit, dog. There really isn't. You don't even understand what's even going on, apparently. You don't understand how many people are key sharing in your pro racing right now, apparently. You don't understand how many people are getting away with making an absolute joke out of you right now as we speak. Because if you did understand what was really going on, you'd be banning people left and right. But it's like you take the easy route. You take the route of, well, let's just hope they're not doing anything like that. Let's just hope everybody's racing legit. We're not going to go after people proactively and really try to look into situations deeply and try to figure out who's actually doing shady shit. No, you take the easy route and then you wait until somebody's done something so fucking caught red-handed out in the open where it's just obvious, and you just have to ban them at that point because they're just so obvious with it and everybody's seeing it. You just have to ban them. Man, it's a sad story. They have somehow figured out a way to ruin the most amazing motocross game there ever will be. I don't know how they did it. God, you boys are some legends, I'm telling you. I don't know how you found a way to completely ruin the game. I don't know. But it took some serious skill to do it, I'm telling you. Because you're working with literally the best gameplay of any motocross game ever, and you still find a way to fuck it up. You still find a way to ruin it. And it's the best gameplay there ever has been. in motocross physics and gameplay, and you still find a way to fuck it up. Oh man. Oh man.